What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlemania here, back with another episode. We have ranked the worst and the most mediocre of all the 32 Wrestlemanias, and now it's time to get to the good stuff. Wrestlemania's think tank of wrestling experts selected these as the best based on historical significance, quality of matches, the hype behind the matches, and whether they lived up to the hype, as well as the quality of wrestlers on the show. So sit back as we rank the 10 best Wrestlemanias of all time. Number 10. Wrestlemania 20. This mania not only showcased great wrestling, it gave great workers a chance to break through the main event and the ranks of world champions, as Chris Benoit won the World Heavyweight Championship in a triple threat match against Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and Eddie Guerrero successfully defended the WWE Championship against Kurt Angle. Guerrero and Benoit would have a poignant celebration in the ring following Benoit's title win. The undercard had less filler than most WrestleManias, featuring the rise of John Cena as he defeated the Big Show to win the United States Championship, Christian vs Chris Jericho, a Cruiserweight Open, and a handicap match between Evolution and the Rock and Sock Connection. Lesnar vs Goldberg was a complete dud. Still, without that and the 3 4-star matches that were put on, it's enough to put this WrestleMania into the Elite 10. Number 9. WrestleMania 22. There's no disguising that this show featured 2 craptacular bouts, the Boogeyman vs Sharmell and Booker T in a handicap match, and a Playboy pillow fight between Candice Michelle and Tori Wilson. Despite that, the show delivered with 2 solid World Championship matches, including Rey Mysterio's feel-good story of winning the World Heavyweight Championship, and John Cena retaining the WWE Championship against Triple H. In addition, the Money in the Bank ladder match delivered, as did Mick Foley and Edge's hardcore match, which in our opinion stole the show. WrestleMania 22 was pretty much one of the last manias to be held in a small arena. With the smaller and hyped crowd, the atmosphere just added to a great WrestleMania. Number 8. WrestleMania 18. This was the last WrestleMania under the WWF name, and what a way to go out. Here we have what should have been an excellent main event between Chris Jericho and Triple H, who recently returned from his first quad injury, but it was overshadowed by the needless storyline involving Triple H and Stephanie's storyline divorce. The undercard made up with this, with the instant classic Icon vs Icon match between Hollywood Hulk Hogan and The Rock, and also the underrated match between Nature Boy Ric Flair and The Undertaker. Kurt Angle vs Kane was a pleasant surprise, and the undercard featured hardly any stinkers. Okay, there was Goldust vs Maven, which probably shouldn't have even had a place on the pre-show, let alone on the main card. The return to the Skydome and Hogan passing on the torch once again, only this time to The Rock, was certainly a touching moment, and a memorable one. Number 7. WrestleMania 10. Some fans give this show bonus points simply for the fact that it was the first WrestleMania without Hulk Hogan. Bret Hart and Owen Hart's opening bout stole the show, and still holds the rank as the best opening match of any WrestleMania. The ladder match between Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels isn't the greatest ladder match of all time, but it was the first on pay-per-view, and still holds up very well. The Falls Count Anywhere match between Randy Savage and Crush was a good brawl, illustrating the importance of having different styles of bouts on any card. The Alundra Blaze vs Leilani Kai match for the Women's Championship was short, but a good one. The unique situation of 2 wrestlers getting title matches against the WWF champion Yokozuna proved intriguing, and both matches provided much excitement, with Bret Hart winning the WWF championship for the 2nd time. Even the presence of Men on a Mission or the mixed tag team match involving Bam Bam Bigelow and Luna Vachon vs Doink and Dink couldn't ruin this event, and it gave WWF fans hope that while muscleheads like Hulk Hogan were gone, the WWF could carry on. Number 6. WrestleMania 14. The Attitude Era arrived at WrestleMania 14 as Stone Cold Steve Austin defeated Shawn Michaels for the WWF Championship. Mike Tyson's presence as guest enforcer brought tremendous publicity to the event, more than earning his multi-million-dollar paycheck. The main event was fantastic, and the undercard was solid if not sensational. Number 5. WrestleMania 26. After a show-stopping match the year before, The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels rematch was wisely placed into the event, with the dead man putting his WrestleMania streak up against Mr. WrestleMania's career. The result was a fantastic match that is one of the best main events of any WrestleMania. The undercard featured exciting matches including the Money in the Bank ladder match and a surprise win by Jack Swagger. Chris Jericho defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Edge, and Randy Orton battling his former proteges Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. The 10 Diva tag match served its purpose of bladder relief, giving fans time to get ready for the John Cena vs Batista match for Batista's WWE Championship. This show could have been in the top 3, except for the awful Bret Hart vs Mr. McMahon no holds barred lumberjack match, which was truly terrible. Number 4. WrestleMania 28. This show was the most purchased pay-per-view in the history of professional wrestling, and remains so today. Whilst the first hour was completely uneventful, including an 18-second squash of World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan vs Sheamus, the later matches more than made up for it. The Kelly and Maria Menounos vs Beth Phoenix and Eve Torres likely boosted concession sales, showing every cloud has a silver lining. Triple H vs The Undertaker in a Hell in a Cell match was a masterfully booked rematch from the year before, with Shawn Michaels' role as special guest referee, leaving fans wondering whether Taker would get a fair call from the man whose career he'd ended. Chris Jericho vs CM Punk for Punk's WWE Championship was a technical masterpiece and another example of Jericho's willingness to put over people and his ability to stay at the top in doing so. The Rock vs John Cena main event had the unfortunate spot of appearing after Jericho vs Punk, but both superstars put on a thrill-packed match. Number 3. WrestleMania 24. No match stood out as a 5-star classic, but there sure were plenty of unforgettable bouts, including the HBK vs Ric Flair retirement match and the brutal Edge vs Undertaker bout. Although Randy Orton, John Cena and Triple H had battled each other numerous times, they found a way to make their triple threat match for Orton's WWE Championship interesting. The Raw vs SmackDown battle between Umaga and Batista was good, if not predictable match, as was the Belfast brawl between Finlay and JBL. As usual, the Money in the Bank ladder match delivered, with CM Punk winning his first of 2 consecutive Money in the Bank matches. Although no one doubted the outcome of Big Show vs boxer Floyd Mayweather, it was booked well enough that Big Show still looked strong in defeat, with Mayweather, a pair of brass knuckles, and Mayweather's entourage of about 38 people contributing to Show's defeat. Number 2. WrestleMania 19. This show was not only the first to be run under the WWE name, but was also the first to be run after the brand extension. WrestleMania 19 was full of wrestling clinics, ranging from Shawn Michaels vs Jericho to the triple threat tag team match between Team Angle, Los Guerreros and Chris Benoit and Rhino for Team Angle's WWE Tag Team Championship. Triple H's World Heavyweight Championship title defense against Booker T could have been a classic, except for the tasteless racial overtones involved in the building up of the match. Mr. McMahon battled the Hulkster in a street fight that surprised fans not so much for the match quality, for the fact that neither man needed an oxygen tank after working 20 minutes. The WrestleMania trilogy between The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin concluded at this show, and as good as it was, it couldn't compete against the epic WWE Championship match between Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar. Angle and Lesnar proved that the WWE was second to none, either in showmanship or wrestling ability. And number 1, WrestleMania 17. This WrestleMania was so good that we dare you to find a better time to have been a wrestling fan. The hype was more than enough to make this one the best Manias of all time, selling out 67,000 plus tickets in no less than a day. Limp Bizkit's My Way theme was a perfect fit for the hype, and even used in the stellar video package preceding the Rock vs Austin main event. A selection of fantastic matches from start to finish, even with the exception of the gimmick battle royal, which we admit we were harsh on, as a lot of fans enjoyed the match's nostalgic appeal, with no stinkers in sight. Jericho vs Regal for the Intercontinental title was the right way to start off the show. It was a short, fast-paced match that also had some chain wrestling involved, as the two were already masters of their craft. Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit wrestled a technical masterpiece. Shane McMahon brawled with Mr. McMahon in a surprise-filled street fight, including Linda McMahon kicking Vince in the grapefruits and Shane hitting the awesome Van Terminator spot. The event also saw the epic Undertaker vs Triple H match for the first time. The TLC match between Edge and Christian, WWF Tag Team Champions the Dudleys and the Hardy Boys, was perhaps the greatest tag team match of all time at a WrestleMania, and includes one of the most memorable spots in Mania history, with Edge spearing Hardy in midair. The second bout in The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin's WrestleMania trilogy saw a shocking swerve as Austin allied with his sworn foe, Mr. McMahon. Yes guys, it really didn't get any better than that. Arguably one of the best pay-per-view shows in WWE history, as well as the best WrestleMania of all time. Well guys, that about wraps up this video here. I hope you enjoyed us ranking all 32 WrestleManias. If this is the first video you're seeing, be sure to check out our previous 2 videos covering the worst and the most mediocre Manias of all time. Subscribe if you already haven't, and we'll see you back with some more wrestling content.